why should you learn Hitoyogiri, right? Hitoyogiri Shakuhachi is old. It's going to give you a new understanding of music and sound, and it's meaningful. But before we talk about those things, I want to just kind of cut to the punchline. I'm starting a new section of the online Hitoyogiri Shakuhachi course starting in October. So if you want to join us, that'd be great. You can check the link in the description. I'm going to be joined by my friend Sean Head, who will be also assistant teaching the course. So, about the Hitoyogiri. Number one, it's something that's very old. I like old things in general, but this is especially interesting because it predates the shakuhachi by at least about 400 years. We've got records of Pure Land Buddhist poet named Hon-on who wrote a Hitoyogiri piece, one of the classical sort of Honkyoku-like pieces that we play, and he is also a monk as well. But he also made shakuhachi, and he made one of these and left it behind. You'll notice I just called it a shakuhachi. Shakuhachi was originally just this. The Fuke shakuhachi comes along in the 1600s, and that evolved into the modern shakuhachi, but before that, when people were talking about shakuhachi, they just meant one of these. They didn't have to call it a Hitoyogiri yet, because there was no other shakuhachi for it to really compete with. So, also you get a new understanding of music and sound. You really start to learn to hear things quite a bit differently. And that will also enrich your shakuhachi playing if you're a shakuhachi player, or give you a nice inroad into shakuhachi if you don't play shakuhachi yet, but you're interested in something. Hitoyogiri, by the way, is a little bit easier to make your first sound on because, well, it's small. In my experience, my new students have had an easier time picking up the Hitoyogiri than they have the shakuhachi. It also teaches you to listen as you play. You can't just press a button and get the tone. You have to create the tone in collaboration with the instrument. It's not like you just give it a command and it obeys. You learn to become sort of one unit with the instrument, and you make the sound together. Also, it's meaningful, right? Hitoyogiri, or shakuhachi, in its original context, was something that samurai, Zen monks, Zen aficionados, Pure Land Buddhist monks, poets, haiku artists, all these sorts of people were playing it, but they weren't performing it really. They were just playing it together. Lots of times there were these sort of, drinking parties or just kind of art collaboration gatherings that would happen often at different temples. People in the area would get together, they'd share their various arts. Sometimes they would write haiku together. They'd do renga, which is kind of like a series of haiku that are collaboratively created by different people, and they would enjoy each other's company. We've also got drawings, right? Line drawings from the Edo era and from slightly before that as well, of people sitting around and drinking tea, playing Hitoyogiri. You've got a monk sitting here and some samurai sitting there, and they're kind of talking about philosophy and playing Hitoyogiri Shakuhachi together. And that's something that we do in the courses as well. That's the great thing about learning together, is not only that you have a chance to play together in a sort of non-critical environment, it's not a performance, it's just kind of sharing together, and we'll also have a chance to discuss some of the same philosophy that the samurai and monks and so on who were composing and learning the original Hitoyogiri pieces were doing as well. They'd sit around and talk about Zen mondos and encounter dialogues, or maybe about Pure Land Buddhists like Hon-on, right? Some of the players were, well, Ikkyu Zenji himself, the famous iconoclastic Zen poet. He was playing Hitoyogiri as well. And then his predecessors were also kind of discussing him and continuing to enjoy the Hitoyogiri Shakuhachi that he played. Anyway, I hope that you'll be able to join us. It'd really be great to have more people to spread the enjoyment that is in the Hitoyogiri Shakuhachi. And we even started a new Shakuhachi Ryuha, a new school. It's called Shin Sosa Ryu Shakuhachi. It's a new iteration of an ancient medieval Japanese shakuhachi school called Sosa Ryu Shakuhachi, referring to the Hitoyogiri. So that'd be great if you could join us with that. See you.